All right, guys, today I want to talk about trading in the spirit in movies. A theme within a theme. So there's this thing in the spirit realm where we can actually trade stuff for other things. And when evil comes and participates, when an evil spirit comes and proposes to you, hey, if you listen to me and you do what I tell you, here's what I'm going to give you. And so we sacrifice things about our life, our relationships, our vitality, our finances, whatever, in order to gain what that evil spirit is proposing to us. We're trading in the spirit, right? So for example, if the spirit of rejection comes to you and says, you need to fill in the blank, and I don't want to say an explicit example to just make this a blanket statement, but as an example, if the spirit of rejection comes to you and says, wear this big, dumpy black hoodie and cover your face and don't look people in the eyes and only associate with these kinds of people and avoid these kinds of people, and you choose to conduct yourself that way, you miss out on a lot of the things that your life is actually intended to experience and to give and receive by going that bent. But also, it emits that experience to people around you. That frequency comes from your choices, and then people reject you because of that spirit in your life, right? That would be a trade. So choosing to dress a certain way, choosing to express yourself or not express yourself a certain way, to associate or not associate with certain kinds of people, to engage with or not engage with certain kinds of activities. We trade in these areas all the time. A lot of people, for example, like to compromise in their intimacy by changing their honest voice to something other than what they actually would be saying in order to cater what they think the person on the other end of this experience wants from them. That's trading. You are manipulating that person instead of giving them who you actually are. I'm not saying we should all just be brutally honest and rude. That's not what I'm talking about. But when you're fakely sweet, because you're trying to just give them what you think they want instead of genuinely representing yourself in the relationship, you are lying to that person. You're manipulating them and you are trading into an economy that's not helpful, won't produce. It'll steal from you. So we've got some examples. I like to use Disney movies because it's really, really obvious and depicted and so pronounced what trading can look like. So like, for example, if you look at The Little Mermaid, Ariel wants her man, right? She wants to become a human. She wants those legs and wants to chase after Eric. And the only way she knows how to do it is to go to the Sea Witch and trade. So she goes to Ursula and was like, I hear you can give me legs. And Ursula's like, oh, I can do that. And what does she need? She's like, you need to give me your voice. And you only have 3 days to do it. Ariel sings. Ursula, by witchcraft, takes her voice, puts it in a shell. Ariel can't sing anymore, or can't talk at all. Gets her legs and goes and fumbles her way through humanity, right? In that scene, it is so dramatic and so pronounced. Ariel gives up her voice, her influence, her ability to create in her life. She gives it away to evil so she can get legs for 3 days. Is that a fair trade? No, I would say that Ariel got a really bad deal out of the mix. Obviously, things work out in the story, but in real life, this is not going to be a scenario that Ariel wins, right? And there's a lot of us who experience similar dynamics where we'll give away something important, something precious, something valuable, to gain something that we've esteemed as being of utmost importance, but that actually sabotages many other areas of our lives that we're just not conscious of. Another good example would be Hercules, the Disney movie Hercules, which, we've done Hercules on this. I love Hercules. Hercules makes a deal with Hades. Hades is like, hey, I want to make a deal with you. 24 hours. You don't get involved with what's about to happen in Mount Olympus. If you do that, I'll set Meg free. And he's like, what? And he's like, you need to promise you'll never be harmed. And he's like, okay, fine. And so they make a trade and they shake on it. And when they do, Hercules, his color diminishes, energy gets pulled from his body, and he becomes weak and tired and frail. In that exchange is also another obvious thing. Hercules wants to protect Meg, wants to take care of her, and so he gives up his godlike strength to get the girl, and then Hades goes and wages war on heaven, right? That's another good depiction of like, whoa, look at this guy giving something up that's important and valuable to him in order to gain something that he wants to have in control. And there's so many times where we in our lives will give up our voice, our authority, our influence, our whatever in order to gain acceptance, to gain approval, to gain control, security, whatever. And the crazy thing is we already have all of those things to begin with. You're already perfectly accepted. You already have the authority that you need as a person in your life. You already have approval and the security that you need. It's all already intact and there. Jesus took care of that. And so when we give things up in order to gain that stuff, we're actually sabotaging ourselves because we're giving up things that are important to us to gain things that were already in our trunk. It's heinous and sad and painful. And the whole point of this is we want to wake up to those opportunities where the enemy is coming to us to take something from us, to convince us we need to give this thing up in order to gain something we don't have. The whole thing is smoke and mirrors. It's not real, but we believe it, and so we trade and then suffer the consequences. Because we got to wake up, see that stuff, and recognize in our own lives, like, I don't want to trade that stuff anymore. I want to enjoy the fullness of what Jesus accomplished on the cross and celebrate that freedom. I don't need to give anything to evil anymore. So remember, guys, when you're watching movies, you're never alone. If you enjoyed this video, click subscribe, and also, you know that bell next to subscribe? Hit that bell and that will notify you the next time we have a new video coming out, which I think is a big win. And then also, if you want to watch the Hercules video I referenced earlier in this video, you can click on it right here, right? And then add a comment below. We want to know, are there things that you're waking up to in your own life? Like, well, I've been trading for this and it's not appropriate and I don't want to do that anymore. Share it below. Let's have a conversation. Let's break that thing and let's shift it. And then also, if you have some friends who need to watch this video, share it with them. Let's help other people jump in on this conversation of trading and shift the way that they're managing their own economy.